Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the studentloanjustice.org live stream. Going a little bit early today. It is Monday, March 22nd, 2021. My name is Alan Collins. I'm the founder of studentloanjustice.org. Welcome. If you're new to the group, welcome. We're glad that you're here. What took you so long? We are the oldest, largest, and really the only group out there that is absolutely people who are 80% of whom are screwed on federal student loans, and another 10 or 11 million who are screwed on private student loans. Times, Los Angeles Times, NPR, PBS, Fox News, Newsmax, Rolling Stone, Vice News, you name it. Suffice it to say, we know a few things about the system, and I am here to tell you that it is a catastrophically failed lending system. We are fortunately slow death spiral of this lending system. Even before this pandemic, 80% of all borrowers, 80%, 4 out of 5, were never going to be able to repay their loans. That's before the pandemic. So what is it now? Is it 85, 90, 95%? Who knows? But, the default rate for subprime home mortgages was 18%, and that was high. We are now looking at 70, 80, 90, who knows? We're like 4 times higher than the subprime home mortgage default rate. So if you're getting screwed on your student loans and you found us, you're not the only one. Not only are you not alone, you are here with the large majority of all student loan borrowers. So we should be way stronger than we are. I mean, come on now. 55 million people is more than all the standing armies on Earth combined. If we were our own state, we'd be the largest state in the nation by a lot. I could go on. But suffice it to say, you came to the right place. And folks, today I just want to tell you, I am very worried. Our petition, change.org/cancel student loans, really ignited the public conversation about canceling student loans by executive order. And that's very important. Congress will never be able to cancel loans. Not really. They say, we see a number of loan cancellation programs out there that have been in existence for years or even decades, and all of them are cruel jokes. Those were all created by Congress. Congress can't cancel loans. The president can cancel all federally owned student loans, which is 87% or so of all student loan debt, by executive order. And he can do that without needing to spend one dime of money. In other words, no money needs to be taken from the Treasury. Nothing would be added to the national debt. And at this late stage in this terminally ill lending system, that is exactly what needs to happen. But folks, I'm very, 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 very worried because we have seen what our opposition, how they operate. We've seen them in operation for many years. Many of the people who even claim to be fighting for students actually are not. When push comes to shove, it turns out that they're actually fighting for the swamp. So folks, last week we heard about Joe Biden canceling $1 billion in student loan debt for people who were defrauded by their for-profit colleges and universities. And they're going to be milking that headline for weeks. And by the way, none of those loans have been canceled yet. In fact, I will be mildly surprised when that actually happens. The one thing we know about the Department of Education is that they have no desire or intentions of canceling any student loans. The other thing that we know is that the Department of Education absolutely does not want bankruptcy protections returned to those loans. So like 13 or 14 years ago now, when we first started fighting this fight, we were pressured by the student loan advocates to stop fighting for the return of bankruptcy protections because they were going to put in this public service loan forgiveness program. They were going to put in this thing called income-based repayment. They said, oh, it's going to be so great. No, definitely you need to stop fighting for bankruptcy. Well, we now know in hindsight that that was a huge trick. That was a cruel joke, and we were the punchline. And folks, the more things change, the more things stay the same. I'm telling you that the student loan swamp, that is the unelected bureaucrats in and around the Department of Education, and all of the people who profit from that, which includes the colleges, by the way, but a whole just pit viper nest of think tanks, you name it, just Beltway. The list is long, put it that way. They would love to play that trick on us again. They would love to serve up some just lame, partial, almost meaningless loan cancellation as long as bankruptcy protections remain gone from the loans. I'm going to say that again. They would love to do some fake, ridiculous loan cancellation where nobody ends up getting their loans canceled, hardly, in exchange for keeping bankruptcy gone from the loans. That is what the opposition is trying to do. And that is what we must, at all costs, avoid. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Well, we're not going to get fooled again, guys. And I'm not even sure that any of the other people claiming to be fighting for students in this country really realize that that's what's going on. But we have the benefit of hindsight. We've got the benefit of 16 years of very careful study of this lending system, of all the players involved, all the media involved. We know this thing front and back. And that's a huge danger, guys. We can't fall for it. We cannot fall for it. So keep your eyes open and be very wary. Just be very wary. We're now more than 2 months into a new congressional session. We haven't seen any bankruptcy protection. We have not seen any bankruptcy legislation come out yet. That worries me. We've seen one bill from Sheldon Whitehouse, but it's only pertaining to medical stuff, people with medical issues. So, folks, I'm very worried, and you should be too. This lending system is catastrophically failed. It can't be allowed to continue, lest the country be conquered and enslaved, lest you, sitting there, be conquered and enslaved for the rest of your lives. We can't let that happen. This is your ass on the line. It's my ass, but it's your ass. And so tell everybody you know about our petition, change.org/cancel-student-loans, about this group. And right now, the most important thing that anybody can be doing besides those two things is look up, look over there, look down. You will see an article that we just published, a research article, which found that 19 states in the country owe more than their entire state budgets in student loan debt. So just think about that. 19 states owe collectively as a state, the people in those states owe more than their entire state budgets in student loan debt. So the worst state, as it happens, I don't know why, is Georgia. The entire state budget of Georgia is nearly $50 billion. So that's a lot of money. 50 for a state budget, that's I mean, by any standards, that is a lot of money. State of Georgia, $50 billion state budget. The people of Georgia, how much do you think they owe in student loan debt? Well, I'll tell you. They owe $81 billion. That is absolutely astonishing. And here's the really critical thing. I don't think that the governors of Georgia and Texas and Florida and Missouri, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Indiana, mostly red states, by the way, but there's also like Michigan and Illinois in there, but mostly red states. I do not think that the governors of those states even know. I don't think they or their staff are even aware that the people of their states, 55% of whom identify either as being Republican or independent, by the way. So this is not a blue-red issue at all. This cuts evenly down the line. I don't think they even know how screwed their citizens are by student loans. And by the way, most of that money is owed directly to Washington, D.C. So particularly for the red states, that should concern them because, you know, Republicans and conservatives typically are for smaller government. But here we have the worst big government, predatory, hyperinflationary, college enriching, which conservatives also don't like, lending scam that this country has ever seen. It cannot continue. So please, look over there, look down there, see if your state's on the list. You can look at all the states. No states are great, by the way. Like, no states are good. But 19 states are particularly bad in that, yeah, they owe more than their entire state budgets. Get that article to the media. Do it. Particularly to your local media. You know, from Ground Central here, where we look out over the whole country, you know, we can tell people, we can send stuff to media in different states and say, hey, yeah, my name's Alan. I know I have a Washington, D.C. phone number, and I'm not in your state, but you should really be worried about that. Well, that's only so effective. If you say, hey, my name is Jim, I live in Atlanta, and what the F is going on here? Have you seen this news? How did we as a state allow this to happen? What has the governor said about this? Then local state media will be like, oh, this is really something. So guys, I'm going to leave it there at that. Just remember, push the petition, tell everybody you know. Word of mouth is the only way that petition is going to grow. But most importantly, right now, get that article to your local media, local or state. Tell them to ask the governor about it. Read them the Riot Act. Let them feel your pain. Demand whether they are from the federal government. It doesn't matter. Governors should be very concerned about this. This is the kind of thing that determines elections. Are you listening, Georgia? And by the way, we're a nonpartisan group, guys. We could care less about either party, but we will play both parties exactly as they need to be paid. So, anyways, that's what needs to happen, guys. You are part of this. You can't sit back, wait, watch, and worry. You are part of this problem. These are your loans. This is your problem, and we will get nowhere until you own it. It is your agency and your actions that are going to solve this problem. I kid you not. We've been doing this for a long time. The one thing I know is when you sit there and do nothing and expect the solution to fall in your lap, it never happens. Whatever solution comes out, you're not going to like. You're going to be screwed. So don't do that. Don't be lazy. And with that, I will simply say, let's make this week right here the best week ever. We're kicking ass, by the way. I know I sound hard sometimes and maybe negative and pessimistic, but you know, I've never been more optimistic than I am now here today. We've got the truth on our side. We've got the Constitution on our side. We've got the founding effing fathers on our side. The bad guys, the opposition, they will never confront us publicly because we will destroy them, and they know that. They scurry like cockroaches when the lights are turned on. This is a battle we can easily win. But you out there have got to help. Tell everybody you know about the petition. Tell everybody you know about this group. And be very careful, be very wary about that trick that I said. They would love to do fake cancellation as a substitution in exchange for keeping bankruptcy gone. We can't let that happen. So you heard it here first, folks. Stick with us. We know the path forward. We've made all the mistakes. We've seen all the tricks and traps that are out there for us. They're maybe not always obvious. We know the path forward, so you're in the right place. With that, I will be back on Wednesday. Ed will be back tomorrow. Let's get this done, guys. Good luck. Godspeed. And God bless.